much do you think I get out? All I know is there are more like you. Well, not quite like you, but sorcerers collared on this tub, all headed. How much do you think I get out? Beyond that, all I know is there are more like you.
You'd best keep that mask on.
Well, not quite
The
like
living don't
you,
take
but
kindly to seeing their futures
collared on this
staring back
tub,
at them.
all headed. How much do you think I get out? Beyond that, all I know is there are more like you.
You'd best keep that mask on.
Well, not quite
The
like
living don't
you,
take
but
kindly to seeing their futures
collared on this
staring back
tub,
at them.
all headed. How much do you think I get out? Beyond that, all I know is there are more like you.
You'd best keep that mask
well,
on.
not quite
The
like
living don't
you,
take
but
kindly to seeing their futures
collared on this
staring
tub,
back at them.
all headed. How much do you think I get out? Beyond that, all I know is there are more like
You'd best
you.
keep that mask
well,
on.
not quite
The
like
living don't
you,
take
but
kindly to seeing their futures
collared on this
staring back
tub,
at them.
all headed. How much do you think I get out? Beyond that, all I know is there are more
You'd
like
best
you.
keep that mask
well,
on.
not quite
The
like
living don't
you,
take
but
kindly to seeing their
Ah, you're up. Yes. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. Or you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours?
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul.
You better stop before you hurt yourself. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you unable to cast source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. No, you're alive and you're having a conversation. You are...
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. A new life awaits. And if you're a...
Good gods, there's been a murder.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty and you're one of the only indisputably, not with that collar on you, aren't. Listen, I could use someone to bring me a good lead and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? think about it. It's one of you who's your real. You let me know if you hear anything.
Dear lending it to me.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass...
Easy now. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sort? Small ones this time. Then we'll find out who did it. One way or another.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Sing a song, I know you can. Be good, you scallywags.
I'm here because I'm magic. Are you here because you're weird? Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm...
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom. Don't you get saucy?
Something has changed. You are you, but more. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shapes. You cradle your aching head, where another's memories and wisdoms mix with your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous surface of new skin. You lower your arm, blink twice, and step forward in this new guise.
Can we just skip to the part
Name?
where I reassure you and you shut up?
Not so fast. Name? The Divine Order one. Well, you aren't here on my list.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That's right.
You one of them?
A broad dwarf. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open it.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
His eyes snap open.
Murder? Ah, that's what... I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it.
His eyes flutter shut.
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide. If you'll be pardoning me...
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
Well, well. What have we?
The lizard looks you up. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by...
My. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Goodness gracious me, what a bore.
I spent my life singing for my... Meanwhile, the Magisters...
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and...
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, he leans in.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifa. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his... Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody get... Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the joy. Away from... No. The dead man, Finn is...
He glances over at Magister Vic.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't the joy. I wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself, not eager to bow before the great bishop.
What are you conspiring about?
Oh, don't mind him.
Name.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then...
I'll find out.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front...
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That's right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, perhaps
You've got this wolf on a leash now.
Here to register, sir. You faring okay so far? Of course I do. You'll see. We'll get you head on in now. Well,
Boring.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter? Murder most
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
You know all about it.
That's
Do
right.
you?
I always
Do
knew
you?
you'd turn out rotten,
Well,
Ben
perhaps
Mest.
you're absolutely right.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this chimney.
This again?
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella? Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman, you there! Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close.
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precise.
My mask! She stole it. If these savages see me without it, they will have my skull for a goblet.
Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. His eyes flicker open. Ifan cries out.
Before this thing snaps into splinters.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls. The hairs on its back.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Please, make it stop. Sorcerer!
The dog whines and continues.
Damn. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. God damn it! I need to get off this wreck. Quick. Something's pounding on the hull.
The marking on the door was paint. You press your... It doesn't but the door groaned.
Something's breaking through. What in the hells are those things?
Death fog? Good thing I'm immune. Still, this means trouble.
kid.
The dwarf, yeah.
Said there were...
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. Wait, Void Woken.
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
They who are about to triumph.
Let the games begin.
beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
This old tub is about to burst.
Let's head above decks for some.
Thank the god!
He eyes the...
Another...
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you.
Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee...
He whispers loudly.
Don't just cower there, Rix. Take out your...
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. The Magisters look to each other, then back...
Your lies end here.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Well, that was decidedly unpleasant. Am I the lone survivor? Depending on one's definition of survivor, of course. Ah, Brachus Rex. I've read his history. Quite gruesome, even for a human. Garbage.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
The child considers your statement.
You're weird. Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching the shadows cloaking your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside, anyway. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am. But it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore.
I know you.
I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a void woken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer. Or...
I did survive, yeah. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
My gratitude is worth a great deal, if only you'd realize it. Now then, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet.
He sighs,
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my... What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he's...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in the grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry, for the truly, a kind offer indeed. Fine. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. The undead? Like your good self, you mean? Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, I prefer the exceptional in all things. Your secret is safe with me. So, now that that's settled, even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that as a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic and, yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. A black cat. A herald of wisdom in my homeland.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus.
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them ring.
What's this? I found something. I wonder where this leads.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding the child quiets and seems comforted by your presence.
There are monsters here. Lizard ones and real ones. Master was a lizard. She sent us here. Me. It's their fault. I'll never see Ma, and parents are the best. They take care of you and...
Her eyes lock with yours for a moment. She places...
Go. Get out. You are not welcome here. Go, man-pig.
She eyes you
Please. Please, just go.
Mama! Mama!
Can you feel it? Can you feel the darkness approaching? It is as if I'm being chilled from the inside out. It threatens to consume me.
What's happening to these turtles? They're transforming. swallowed too much seawater by the looks of him.
Foolish to attempt an escape by sea in these waters. Yes. Is it an audience you desire?
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa.
We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think the fate of our realm hangs in the balance. Alice?
Yes, Your Holiness? What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere. This.
He hasn't changed a bit. Always late. Where is he? He hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
Did you see him? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty. That, Magister, that was Bishop Alexander, leader of the Divine Order, and his right hand, Dalek. What, have you been living under a boulder? Alexander's the Divine's only natural. Liberated my hometown from the Black Ring, he did. We never had such peace as we did with his battalion protecting. Now why don't you move along and settle in?
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their... Easy enough to say in times of peace. The Void Woken are coming, sir. And it's only the...
A fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. Day and night she hollers after that child.
Always late.
Yeah, that, Farah. You gotta cut that out. What's happened to you?
Known her all my life. Her little girl Irma, too. Farah was a straight-shooting woman in those days. But now she's madder than a cook.
What else do you call hollering after a ghost? That child of hers she's shouting after's been dead, and there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring...
Where is he?
I don't think I ain't watching.
Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help. Oh, bless you, bless you.
Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip. Black of hair. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out... Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her, give her the doll and tell her, Mummy says this is for her little chick.
She soaks up a steady stream of...
She ought to come with you then. She ought to follow you back to me. You are an angel. Irma, where are you, darling?
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Too tight.
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your 5th clue just to this road.
He hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
Ah, grab it in your gobblers, the both of you.
If you don't like the game, Topsy, you
Irma?
can fold.
Irma!
No. Just because the pair of you are filthy cheating liars don't mean I can't beat you.
Our father. A little respect.
Right hand's fine, Whisker. Fella's got more right hands than an
Irma, Mummy's right here.
Where is he? You there? I'm looking for an inmate. He wears a large... Have you seen him? None of your business, inmate.
Greetings, child. I find myself in your so-called divine lands, yet I feel his absence deep in my heart all the same. No disrespect, eh? I'm used to calling all the Divine's offspring that way. Absent though... Send us your children, your supplicants, a new Divine.
That's it. I call court. Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? No problem, Freshie. In that case, enjoy your stay. But I'll be needing to collect your interment fee first, of course. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets. To be sure, Chief. Pay up and you get to keep your eyes. Sounds pretty satisfying, doesn't it? We'll see about that, Fresh.
A new Divine. Send us your supplicants. Who presideth over us all.
Prepare
I'm ready.
Lest the void Send us your children, your supplicants, and you divine. Our Father, presideth over us all. Your supplicants, and you divine. Send us your children, your supplicants, divine. Our Father, presideth over us all. Lest the void overtake and devour us all.
Boring.
Lest the void overtake and devour us all.